क्योंकि बात यह है ना कि my hair is a fringe, so it looks like a mini skirt. Please welcome, very funny, Sai! First of all, for obvious reasons, I hate this guy. Anyway, who said? You? Oh, who said I feel you? Man, my brother. We'll discuss. We'll have a longer story about this. Now, who's ready for some nerdy geek jokes? Chalo, koi to hai, chalo, acha hai. So, like I said, I'm in the 5th stage of grief now, acceptance. So, but it took a journey. I got here after some work. And when I started losing my hair, I was a little insecure about it. Okay? So, luckily for me, I got a wife. And she's a data scientist. Which is why I can afford this. So, soon after we got married, my wife and I were having pillow talk. And we were discussing weaknesses, insecurities, all those things. So she's like, no, you look fine to me. You look like a normal to me. So I said, what do you mean? Thanks, first of all. But what do you mean, a normal? And she's like, you know what? Your hair follows a normal distribution. Nothing on top. Nothing there. And it peaks in the middle. My only saving grace is that my wife is not a competitive shooter or an archer. Because then the middle would be a bullseye to her. Scary stuff. Now, we all know India is tough for women, right? I'm sure all the women in the audience agree that India is a tough place for women. Women have to do twice as much to get half as far, all those things. It's true. It's true that women have to do much more work than men to get anywhere. But it's also true, that thing is also true for bald people. It's a tough life, I'm telling you. The guy who said, my brother, he feels the same way. It's 5th stage of grief, आया नहीं है? तो क्या है ना कि, let me give you an example. Say you guys are fancy people, look like you guys, comedy show Saturday night, you guys are fancy people. So I'm assuming that you guys would go for brunch. Okay? Assume that you're sitting for brunch with your friends. And a guy walks in wearing a cap. All right? And he comes in, he takes off his cap, and he's got a full head of hair. What do you think to yourself? Oh, it must be hot and sunny outside. Normal thoughts? But a guy walks in wearing a cap, takes off his cap, and he looks like me. Your thought will not be that it's sunny and hot outside. Your thought will be, he's trying to hide his baldness. He is lying to us. At the same time, if a hot girl walks in wearing a push-up bra, you will not think to yourself, oh, she's lying to us. You will think to yourself, oh, she is lying for us. Thank you. That's what you'll think. Now, the thing is that everybody has an opinion about bald people. Everybody. I'm sure all of you people do also. So, जब मेरा बाल झड़ना शुरू हुआ था, like I started losing hair after coming to Bangalore, I had a very close friend. Oh, everybody's feeling that pain, na? सबको वो दर्द है, मुझे पता है. So, after I started losing hair, I was talking to my best friend about it, and he's like my बचपन का दोस्त है. I was telling him, दुख हो रहा है मुझे, बाल झड़ रहे हैं, पता नहीं क्या करना है. तो that guy, चश्मा पहनता था, मोटा चश्मा पहन के ऐसे देख के बोलता है, you know what, dude? उड़ा दे. Let nature take its course. मैंने बोला, तू अपना चश्मा उतार दे, मैं तो कभी नहीं बोला, आंखें फोड़ ले, let nature take its course. This double standard is what I don't like. And it's not just double standards at the individual level, like interpersonal level. Social level पे double standards है when it comes to bald people. Example देता हूँ. So, like I said, I'm married, luckily. So I don't have to deal with that stuff anymore. So शादी के, I'm a Tamilian, so the process is like the bride and the groom meet at the wedding venue, and when the groom comes, the father of the bride, the father-in-law, is supposed to hold a tray and welcome the groom with a set of gifts. तो मेरे साथ भी ऐसे हुआ, शादी के वेन्यू में पहुंचा, तो मेरे ससुर जी खड़े थे ट्रे लेकर के, and the tray doesn't have fancy things, like regular useful things around the house, okay? मेरा मेरा ससुर ऐसा भी हरामी नहीं है यार. So I come in and there's a tray waiting for me, and you know Indian weddings videographer होता है, बोलता है अरे फोटो लेंगे सब चीज़ फोटो लेंगे. And as soon as he said फोटो लेंगे, my father-in-law looked at my brother-in-law. And दोनों अरे छोड़िए ना, क्या फोटो, जल्दी हो रहा है, मुहूर्त निकला, चलो we'll go inside. At that moment, my wife's grand uncle, he put his foot down. नहीं फोटो लेना ही पड़ेगा. So I started taking pictures with stuff on that tray. तो पहले तो एक wallet था. So I took a picture with the wallet. धीरे-धीरे towel आया उसके बाद. Another picture. And at the bottom of all of this, but you're still focused on that bullseye, क्या? आगे बढ़ गए हम लोग. We moved on from there. So at the bottom was a mirror and a kanga. And in my wedding album, literally, there's a picture of me standing like a fool. हाथ में शीशा है, दूसरे हाथ में कंगा है. See, social level पे हमें ostracize किया जा रहा है. Another example, तिरुपति लोग जाते होंगे बाल sacrifice करने के लिए. You know the theory behind that? You know why people go to Tirupati to sacrifice their hair? Because it's supposed to suppress your ego and pride. That's true. That's literally what happens. तो भगवान ने भी सोचा कि आदमी बहुत उड़ रहा है, पंख तो दिए नहीं है, बाल काट लेते हैं. बट इन माई केस थोड़ा बैकफायर हो गया, क्योंकि बात यह है ना कि माई हेयर इज अ फ्रिंज, सो इट लुक्स लाइक अ मिनी स्कर्ट. तो अब क्या होता है ना, बाल उड़ाने के बाद गर्ल्स लाइक दिस लुक सरप्राइजिंगली, सो मुझे बोलना पड़ता है नहीं आई एम नॉट अप देयर, आई एम डाउन हियर. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not all doom and gloom. There are some good things about being bald, right? For example, you guys, बस अबे 10 रुपए के कंघी के लिए खुश हो जाएंगे, ऐसा नहीं है. स्टैंडर्ड हमारा है यार थोड़ा बहुत. So I checked with you guys. You guys don't mind some nerdy jokes, no? Okay, see, ठीक है. So you guys have heard of the Pauli's exclusion principle? अरे this is unexpected. All right, let me tell you what the Pauli's exclusion principle is for the commerce students here. I see. So the Pauli's exclusion principle basically says that in an atom, you cannot have two electrons of the same type at the same shell. That's what the Pauli's exclusion principle is. But for bald people, there is the Baldy's exclusion principle. In a group of friends, there can only be one bald person. Think about all your friends. आपके ग्रुप में एक ही बंदा होगा टकला. If you guys start finding that you're getting bald, you have to leave that group. Find another friend group जिसमें आप अकेले टकले वाले हो. That is the Baldy's exclusion principle. And the other good thing is that people, when you're bald, they start taking you very seriously. And initially, I wasn't prepared for this. I was like, ठीक है, बाल उड़ा लिए, ठीक है, they'll treat me as the way they're treating me before. But the reason I figured out why they treat you seriously is that, you know, in Hindu customs, if your parent dies, you're supposed to shave off your head, है ना? And पीछे कुड़मी छोड़ना होता है, छोटा सा टफ्ट छोड़ना होता है. So initially what happened is, when I first shaved off my hair, my friends used to be like, they should be talking to me, but they'll be like, trying to figure out, बात क्या है पीछे. So I figured out that's the reason why people take bald people very seriously. But I mean, I've depressed you enough about my bald stories. There's some good news finally to end this, okay? Now, it turns out, remember I was telling you about pillow talk? I discovered that my wife likes this. She likes rubbing my head. She enjoys it, and I think it turns her on. अच्छे से सीखा है तुमने यार. And by the way, the Baldy's exclusion principle also applies to marriages. One bald person per marriage. But anyway, the good news is that she likes it, and I figured out the reason why she likes it. Because one bald thing with a little bit of hair reminds her of another bald thing, not so bald maybe, another round thing with a little bit of hair. And that's the reason why my bald head is working for my wife and me. With that, back to your host. If I can find them. Oh, hey. I still hate him.